I just wanted to make this video to let it be known once again, because these agent provocateurs, these gang stalkers, these workers of iniquity, these brown nosers, these roaches are making it a point to send me subliminals about me getting harmed. And what I mean by that is, okay, first and foremost, I don't bow down to any of these people, okay? They're trying to use scare tactics. They're trying to use intimidation tactics to try to get me to bow down and to basically do whatever it is that they're wanting me to do. So they have this subliminal way of trying to let me know what it is that they want me to do, okay? Lately, they've been making a lot of subliminal threats. They make references to like Tupac, calling me Tupac in indirect ways. And we all know what happened to Tupac. You know, he ended up getting shot and killed, if that ever even happened. You know, there's speculation on that. But anyways, nevertheless, they're using that as a means to communicate to me that they're in the process of trying to harm me. They've made subliminal threats. I come into work and I noticed that this bottle was sitting right here. Actually, let me move my stuff so that I can show you exactly how it was when I got here. So there was just this bottle that's just sitting here. And it says Body Armor Light. Okay. So they've been doing subliminals about like guns and shooting and things, you know, things of that nature. So I guess they're trying to plot yet again another attack. Okay. For those of you that are avid viewers of my channel that have kept up with videos that I've done in the past, there was an incident to where I had to use my firearm to protect myself against some perpetrators that they sent to church grounds to provoke and harass me while I'm sitting to myself, minding my own business. Okay. They've done several attempted reenactments of this incident that occurred, but it wasn't exactly the same. Like they would do it off in the distance. Okay. So they wouldn't get too close to me. These people are extremely demonic, evil, and wicked. I have gone to law enforcement in the beginning of this whole gang stalking experience. When I figured out that I was being gang stalked, okay, once I started to identify the patterns and frequencies of events that was occurring that was completely unnatural, I went to law enforcement initially, and I've said this in previous videos. They did not help. It was implied by one of the officers of the two that I spoke to that I needed to go get professional help without even investigating any of my claims of what was going on or what was happening. Okay. So to me, that was a major red flag. Now, I refrained from going to the police station and, you know, talking to sergeants and lieutenants and other higher ranking, you know, officers, because I had already been watching videos on how pointless and useless it is to do that, because these people do not help you. So what I did instead was I went to the FBI. Well, actually, no, I didn't go to the FBI. Gavin Eugene Long, I don't know if you guys remember this guy. He was also a targeted individual. They were doing, you know, gang stalking. They did a lot of psyops on him. And ultimately, he ended up having a shootout with police. And he killed, like, I think, like 3 or 4 of them. And then they shot and killed him. But I talked to that guy like weeks before this incident happened. Okay. The same exact thing that he was going through is the same thing that I'm dealing with, that other people that are complaining about online are dealing with. So I'm not the only one. Okay. It was then that the FBI was interested in talking to me because they knew that I had talked to this individual. Okay. So I they came and picked me up from my residence that I was living at that time, which is, I think, was my cousin's house. And they took me to Intercontinental Airport to talk to me about, you know, if I knew anything else that would help them with, you know, with the Gavin Eugene Long case or whatever, like if he was a part of any terrorist groups or anything like that. And I just pretty much told him that, you know, he was going through something that's online that's known as gang stalking. And I explained to them what was happening with me. And the agent told me that he knew that I wasn't crazy, that he knows what's going on, They have their hands tied. There's nothing they can do about it. Okay. And this is federal government. This is the FBI. You know, if anybody, they're supposed to be able to help. But after doing further research, come to find out the FBI may be very well involved in this gang stalking activity. So what am I supposed to do? These people are continuously sending these flying monkeys my way to try to hinder me, to try to provoke me, to deliberately do things to move me to causing a reaction that would warrant law enforcement involvement. How am I supposed to overcome that? I mean, yes, of course, you know, people say it's spiritual, and I do believe it starts in the spiritual, but it manifests into the physical. These are some very physical things that are going on. Your vehicle being sabotaged, that's a very physical thing. Them sending goons after you to jump you and you sustaining injuries, that is a very physical thing. Okay, so I get that it's spiritual, but in the meantime, what do any of you suggest that I do to protect myself? And I want it to be known that any judge that watches this in the future, or law enforcement that watches this in the future, I try to get help. I tried to go to law enforcement to see if I could get help with what was going on, and nobody could help me. So again, I'm just saying I will protect myself by any means necessary. These people are terrorists. They do vehicular stalking. I can't even get to work in peace. I can't even leave work to go to my destination in peace because they're sending these flying monkeys out to try to run you off the road, to do all these vehicular shenanigans and antics on the road to try to cause accidents. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like they control the traffic. They create traffic just so that they can box you in, just so that they can get you to a point to where you're queued up to them so they can enact whatever street theater they want to enact. Like it's very accurate the way that they pull these things off. You know, you cry out to the Most High as much as you want. This thing still doesn't stop. Now, granted, he's given me the strength to endure and continues to give me the strength to endure. But all I'm saying is I just want it to be known as to what's going on. These people are trying to subliminally make threats. They're terrorizing me when I get off of work, when I'm on my way to work. They're sending these vehicles out to drive extremely aggressive around me, driving into my vehicle in this side swiping motion like they're going to run me off the road. I mean, it is insane. So what do y'all suggest that I do? I'm working as a security officer at the BBVA Stadium here in Houston, Texas, downtown Houston, Texas. Obviously, I am not on a terror watch list. What terrorists are they going to allow to work in a stadium that houses hundreds, maybe thousands of people? You know, for soccer games? So obviously, I'm not on a terror watch list. So what is it? It's spiritual. It's spiritual. But there are very physical things happening. Oh, man. So I just want it to be known that I will protect myself by any means necessary. To the judge or judges that may watch this in the future, I did go to law enforcement. I went to the FBI. It's on record. Let me pull out my card again so I have record showing that I did speak to somebody from the FBI. Just give me 1 second here. Let me put this phone down so I can grab it out my wallet. And I've shown this card on many videos before. Okay? So here it is. Special Agent Glenn Gregory with the Houston Violent Crime Task Force. Okay, his office is at 1 Justice Park Drive, Houston, Texas, 77092. Okay? So that's a legitimate Federal Bureau of Investigation business card that gentleman gave me. So, again, they admitted to me that they knew what was going on. These people have already arrested me several times before for crimes that I did not commit. They arrested me for charges I did not commit. They had me in jail. I was tortured in jail. They kept me in the coldest prison cell. It felt like a meat locker. Had me in there by myself, and then put me in there with some crazy loon who was out of his mind. But I ended up calming him down and, you know, talking to him and kind of consoling him. The guy had a really rough life, you know, pretty much told me his life story and stuff. So anyway, so maybe that was a test. You know, it's been said that, you know, we're supposed to be children of God, or possibly angels or prophets or seers, and sometimes they put you through certain things to test, to see if you have that power, abilities that Jesus had. How Jesus had the ability to cast out demons. You know, they put you through so much trauma to see what they can pull out of you, to see what will activate in you. And it's that very thing that they're afraid of. You know, I don't know. I know I'm someone. I have to be somebody to God. I have to be, because why would it warrant this much attention? And I know that this thing has especially ramped up since the whole COVID pandemic thing has started. I don't wear masks in the stores. I boldly walk into the stores with no mask. Like I don't ever see anybody without a mask. You know, and obviously you stand out. Obviously people are gonna look at you. And when you do things like that, it hinders their agenda, because you're not following their protocols of what they want you to follow, so they can fulfill their agenda of enslaving everybody. There is no virus out there that's going to kill you. I don't believe it exists. During the whole time that they had when they shut down the city the first time, I was outside the whole time. I was living out my vehicle. Okay, I was around people with no mask on. And I'm not sick. So what's really going on? So they don't want people like me here. Anybody who's going to buck the system, who's going to rebuke it, who's going to rebel against it, they don't want us here. So essentially that is why they do the things that they do, to systematically destroy our lives. And the only reason why I think that I get jobs is because so that they can harass me. They will gladly hire a TI for the sole purpose of harassment, for the sole purpose of trying to spiritually dampen them. It's a very wicked and evil thing to do. It's truly demonic. I was here a week or two ago. They had the Dash team. That's the women's soccer team. They had some celebration because they won some sort of game or something, and they had a whole parade out here. And I swear it was just so demonic and ritualistic looking, and so many subliminals. So that they had the parade out here. Okay, they had a whole stage set up right here where my camera is pointing at in these parking spaces. That's where the stage was, and it was facing this way. They had city council come out, that, you know, the mayor and all that came out. And it was like, it was almost as if it was planned for me to work here just so that I could have that encounter or interaction with the city council. Because like the security came in first, and they, you know, they was looking at me. They kind of walked up to me. They already knew who I was. So it was like, you know, they just had the mayor come through, and, you know, he was kind of like looking at me, shaking his head, you know, like, you know, that, yeah, that's that guy. But anyway, so they had the parade or what have you. And when they had cars driving through, so there was like 2 gates open, 1 gate for them to drive through, and the other gate was for them to exit. And went towards the end of the parade, they turned, it appeared as if they turned the stage towards where I was standing. So let me point the camera in the direction where I was standing at. So if you can see all the way down, there's some booths to the left. Okay, so that's where I was standing, and that's where I was supposed to give signal to where the exit is for the vehicles leaving out. So it's like they turned the stage towards that direction, and they did this chant. It's a chant. I don't know if you guys have ever watched rugby, and they have this chant called is it the Roku, or it's some kind of demonic chant where they're screaming and hollering and they bug their eyes out and they're doing this little troll walk type thing. But anyways, they faced towards me and they were saying this chant, and I swear within that chant, it sounded as if they said something to the effect of Ochu, go home. Like they said a name that sounds similar to Ochu, but it wasn't Ochu. It was like Ozego or some crap. But they were saying it was like they were telling me to go home, and that's like another subliminal that I get a lot of times. I don't know if other targeted individuals get this, but I've been told that the color red, I'm sorry, the color orange is what they use to subliminally tell you that they want you to go home. So if you're seeing a lot of perps one day that's wearing orange, they're trying to tell you to go home. Now, what do y'all think that could mean? Go home as in go back to heaven? Go back to the Most High? Because I don't have a home. I'm still living out of my vehicle. So what home are they talking about? So again, that's what I mean by subliminals. Like they do these things to somewhat, I guess, tell you, to try to tell you who you are, or spiritually, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm, how can I put it? I don't want to make it seem like I'm like I'm not a narcissist or anything like that. I'm just merely giving an account to what I experienced. And that's all. So anyways, yeah, they will put you in certain places. Like when you're working jobs, it's like they strategically will put you in places because they want you to get harassed there. You know what I mean? It's like they have people there that they need to have these interactions with you so they can feed off of your energy. And I truly believe that it is spiritual. Absolutely. And it just seems like there's some sort of alien aspect to this. Like whether it's entities getting off into people, or these people themselves are those entities and they're just masked under this, you know, what appears to be human vessel. But I can feel it. I can just feel when they're trying to like get my energy, when they're trying to deliberately do things to cause some sort of emotion, whether it's anxiety or anger or some sort of sadness or just being in a depressive state. Like they feed off of that. You know, you can see it in them. And it's like food. And a lot of these people, they'll lick their lips, or they do this thing to where they tuck their lips in. Like, you know, like you might have had a good meal or something and you lick your mouth, or I don't even really do that. But some people do, like they'll lick their lips or tuck their lips in, like they're sucking the crumbs off their lips or whatever. That's exactly what these things do. You know, after they've been around me, like they're you know, they've got their fill, and, you know, they're good. So I don't know. My energy is infinite. Like I've been dealing with this thing for years, and it's like I continue to thrive. Like I don't feel, how can I put it? I don't feel drained. Like I have so much energy left. So I guess that's why they like putting me in places and hiring me in certain places so that they can have these entities feed, because it's like I'm their food, ultimately. Just like the rest of you that are going through this, like you have this energy about you that is just, it tastes good to them. Anyways, so yeah, definitely can't be on no terror watch list, because, you know, they have me working in this stadium. I'm sorry, I gotta check. Walk out here real quick. So yeah, just if there's anybody out there who has any advice, or, you know, I know most of you are perps. Forgive me for the ones that are truly not, but you have to know that when you put videos out and pertaining to this, that you're going to have perps watching. You're going to have perps that are mainly commenting. It's not always negative comments. You have perps that'll play both sides. You have perps that'll give nice, encouraging words, you know, and direct you towards scripture and stuff like that. But yet these are the same people that are doing our harassment. Don't be fooled just because you got somebody putting a nice scriptural quote in your comment section and directing you towards Jesus and love and all this type of stuff. You best believe some of these perps that are out here, they do the same thing. A lot of these people in these churches are involved in this gang stalking. So don't, you know, that's one thing about us is we have discernment. We have special gifts from the Most High that gives us these eyes to see through this demonic, this veil, this illusionary veil that's been placed over everyone's eyes. And only a select few can see good enough to be able to see through it and call it out. So don't be fooled. But yeah, I know it. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody's a perp in the comment section. I really would not be surprised. But again, I'm still going through it. I know I don't post as much as I used to on a consistent basis. I've had some other things going on in my life that I'll be making videos about at a later time. But one second. But yeah, you guys continue to stay strong. Pray for me. You know, I don't pray as much as I used to. I'm not gonna lie. I have been kind of like lately, but you know, just trying to get through this as best as I can. And these people try to set you up on the roads and do these vehicular maneuvers around you and just like, what kind of drugs are like, is the mind control that strong to where these people don't know what they're doing? I know I've heard it said before that these people don't know what they're doing. Like, I find that hard to believe. Are people that gone in the head to where they can just be hacked like that to do this? You know, but it's kind of contrary to what it says. Some of the things it said in the Bible, you know, about workers of iniquity. Those are specific people that know exactly what they're doing, that are going to receive a special punishment from the Most High. And that's what the majority of these people are, workers of iniquity. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, they send people to walk out in front of my vehicle in traffic so as to give the impression that I'm trying to run this person over. When they instructed that person to walk out in front of my vehicle, you get what I'm saying? They do stupid stuff like that, but then they'll try to flip it to make it look as if I'm some sort of maniac on the road. Like, but you're sending this idiot to walk out in front of me. Like, who does that? What amount of money can you pay somebody to do that? You understand what I'm saying? I experienced that when I was on my way to work. And then they'll have people planted around to serve as witnesses. Coincidentally, as this individual, it was like I guess it's like a homeless person or whatever that was getting money from traffic. Matter of fact, I'll show you the video in my phone real quick. Coincidentally, law enforcement just happened to be rolling up right when I was about to pass this individual up. Now, mind you, I've never hit any pedestrian. So I don't know if they're giving a rumor or line saying that, oh, I like to run into people. That is not true. You idiots are falling for the lie. They are sitting up there. They know your routes. They know what streets you're going to drive down. They know your destination. So they know where and what time to plant these idiots to enact these street theater sketches. You just driving down the road and all of a sudden you got somebody that just wants to dart out in the middle of the road, and then they're looking right at you as they're doing, you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to slow up. I had one guy, and I had somebody with me that witnessed this. There was a guy in Walmart parking lot that deliberately stuck his head out into the driveway of the parking lot. Stuck his head out like he was trying to get it on camera, like I was trying to hit him. It's very stupid. And if it was even on camera, you could see how deliberate it was on his part. Like, I'm just simply driving through a parking lot and the idiot's just darting out in front of me. Of course, I'm going to get on my brakes and not hit anybody. But at the same time, you know, I drive around them. Sometimes I look at them stupid and I continue on. I don't hit them, but I just drive around them. So even that, I guess, is offensive. But these people are being idiots. All for what, a gift card? Is that what you're risking your lives for, gift cards? Anyways, let me, just 1 second. Let me show this video. It was at the 5-minute mark. 1 second. Yeah, okay. Sure. See, this is organized gang stalking right here. They have this individual that's just in the street, like they instructed him to. And you see the sheriff deputy right there? The sheriff's department that's right there watching. The paddy wagon. You get what I'm saying? So just stuff like that. Like they'll send people to queue up with you at certain spots, and then they'll plant these false witnesses around so they can be the ones to report what you did or what you were doing. They're not going to report that they set it up. What they're doing is illegal, because in order for them to pull something like that off, don't they have to track your whereabouts? Don't they have to illegally surveillance you somehow, whether they're using a drone, satellite technology, whether we've been chipped? It is illegal. It is against the constitutional right. It is an invasion of privacy. These people are violating our constitutional rights by illegally surveillancing us. And not only that, they're putting other people's lives in danger. I worked at this other post. It was like that housed an eye doctor's and an immigration practice and a FedEx store. Okay. And there was an incident to where an undercover cop ran into a pedestrian. Now, whether this was real or fake, I don't know, but it's posted on my YouTube channel. I will gladly go to that video. Just give me 1 second. Right here. Gang stalking. Undercover cop hits pedestrian in my presence, I believe. Yeah, PSYOP or not. So here's the title. Gang stalking undercover cop hits pedestrian in my presence, PSYOP or not. So you have this cop that ran into this woman, and it was clear as day. Now, I know Hollywood, they have ways of making stuff like that look real, but I struggled with believing if it actually really happened or not, or if it's just some sort of like Hollywood CIA type setup. But when you guys get a chance, go and watch that video. These people are going crazy trying to make us go crazy.
I'm making this.
Isn't that insane that
you know exactly what I'm speaking of here? I'm so sorry.
And the reason why I say it might be fake, let me get this undercover cop's face. 1 second.
This is the undercover.
Let me get their face.
Just 1 second. Him as this like.
I'm trying to pause it to where
I believe she was either a witch or wanted.
And it was just like, it could have been real, but when I looked at this woman, she didn't have no bruises on her face. There was no redness. I mean, the way that vehicle smacked into her, like her whole body was under the cab of the truck when it was all said and done. So to me, that is just a mystery. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, I don't know. But you guys go back and watch that video and give me your opinions, okay? It might have been some CIA types, the Hollywood type setup or whatever, just to see how I would respond. And it's like they're trying to get me to they're trying to get me to participate with their street theater. That's exactly what that was if it was fake. Because of course I see this what appeared to be human being get hit by this vehicle. Of course I'm going to run up, whether I'm in a security guard uniform or not. I'm going to run up and make sure they're okay, or call an ambulance or do something to try to help. But it's like this day and age, you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fake. That's why it's so important to stop watching TV, stop watching the news. There's so much deception being put out there about what's going on in the world. You know, you make your judgment by what you experience and what you see with your own eyes. Even things that you see with your own eyes sometimes can be false. But if you're a true child of God, if you have that source light in you, you'll be able to tell the difference. You will be able to tell the difference. I mean, this thing is sick. Like, these people will not leave me the hell alone. No matter where I go. I've been all over Houston, all over the outskirts of Houston and the country and all that. It doesn't stop. It's a little bit better living out in the country. I'd really like to get like a small house on a big piece of land or something like that. That's what I would really like to do. But even then, they're going to find some type of way to get to you. You know, they got the aerial stalking. They got drones. They got dew weapons. You know, there's all kind of things that they can use to get to you. There's really nowhere to run. But anyways, again, the whole purpose of this video is to let it be known that these people are making subliminal threats of harming me again. And I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that I protect myself. My vehicle has been sabotaged. My vehicle has been... 1 second, let me walk out to it. It's been manipulated in some type of way. I had been spending time at an apartment, and I've been spending the night at this apartment. I'm not giving too much information on it. I'm just going to leave it at that. I was spending the night at this apartment, and of course, when you're spending the night and you're in an apartment complex and you're parking your vehicle way across the, the other side of the complex because it's visitors parking and that's the only place you're allowed to park, that gives these people an opportunity to get in your vehicle, to sabotage, to manipulate things. I noticed that when I opened the driver's side door of my vehicle, that the door seems a whole lot heavier. So it's almost as if like they removed this panel and they placed some sort of heavy metal or equipment. I haven't been able to get this door open because I don't want to mess anything up. I'm not a very mechanically inclined person. I'm not savvy when it comes to stuff like this. So I really need someone to actually help me get this door off so I can see what's in it. But it's noticeably heavier, okay? And there was also this loud squeaky noise where the screw mechanisms are in here. Like, I had to spray WD-40 and I had never experienced that noise before. But this door is noticeably heavier, okay? And it's like, you're used to getting in and out of your vehicle, you know how everything feels, and when something is different, you can tell. Now this door, is pretty much, seems like it's pretty much the same. But I don't know. They have certain things that they do to try to manipulate things, and whenever they try to pull off these psychological operations, they'll have all the tech that they need in your vehicle so they can put